I used to think a youthful haircut meant fighting my gray, my texture, everything my hair actually wanted to do. And I was wrong on every single point. Today I'm giving you 5 specific haircuts that stylists are actually putting on women over 50 right now, in 2026. And the reason each one works has almost nothing to do with length and everything to do with where it lands on your face. This isn't a generic, go shorter list. Every cut here is chosen for a specific reason. And I'll tell you exactly what to say to your stylist, so you walk out with the right one, not a rough approximation of it. I researched the best haircuts and styling fixes for women over 50, so you get real answers, not guesswork. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The lob that softens everything. Here's something most women don't hear until they're already in the chair. The single most requested cut with stylists working on women over 50 this year isn't a bob, and it isn't long hair. It's the space right between the two, sitting just below the collarbone, and it's requested specifically because of what it does to the jawline, not because it's trendy. Think about the last time you saw a photo of yourself from below. Maybe someone took it on a phone, unflattering angle, and you noticed your jaw looked heavier than you remembered. That's not really about your jaw. That's about hair that stops exactly at the widest part of your face, drawing a hard horizontal line, right where you don't want one. A lot of women over 50 are wearing a length that was doing this to them for years without knowing it. The fix is called the lob, long bob, and the length matters more than people think. Ask for it to hit right at or just below the collarbone, never at the jaw itself. That extra few inches changes everything, because now the ends fall past the widest point of your face instead of framing it, which visually narrows and softens the whole lower half. Then ask for soft, feathered ends rather than a blunt, straight across cut. A blunt line at this length can look severe on mature hair. Feathering breaks up the ends so they move instead of hang. The part one want you to really hear is what this does structurally. A lob at collarbone length with feathered ends gives you built-in movement. It swings when you turn your head. It catches light instead of sitting flat. And because it's shorter than long hair but longer than a chin bob, it works with the natural texture most of us have by our 50s and 60s instead of fighting it. You don't need 3 styling tools every morning to make it behave. A little product scrunched through damp hair, and it does most of the work itself. Here's the part that actually changes how people see you. Shorter, well-shaped cuts read as fuller. When your ends are healthy and moving instead of thin and dragging down from the weight of extra length, the whole silhouette reads as more hair, not less, even if you technically cut some off. Women tell me constantly that after this one change, people start commenting that their hair looks so healthy. Not that it looks different, that it looks healthier. That's the compliment you want, because it means it looks intentional, not like a change you were forced into. Before, one length hair ending right at the jawline, heavy and static. After, a collarbone lob with feathered, face-passing ends that move. That's the swap, and it's the one most stylists will tell you to start with if you only make one change from this whole list. But if your hair is already fine or has started thinning at the crown, and be honest with yourself about this one, the lob alone won't fix the flatness up top. That's a different problem, and it needs a different answer, which is exactly where we're going next. Part 2. Curtain layers and the forehead problem nobody names. Nobody tells you this directly, but there's a very specific reason curtain bangs became the most requested face framing detail for women over 50 this year. And it isn't about hiding your forehead the way people assume. It's about where your eyebrows sit now compared to 20 years ago. As we get older, brows can drop slightly and the forehead can look a little longer as a result. Not dramatically, just enough that a straight across hairline or hair pulled fully back can make the whole upper face red as bare. You've probably felt this without naming it. A photo where your forehead looks bigger than it does in the mirror, or a hairstyle that suddenly feels aging even though nothing about your face actually changed. The fix is curtain layers, not full bangs, curtain layers, and the difference matters. Ask your stylist for long, face framing pieces that start around eyebrow height at the center part and get progressively longer as they sweep back toward your cheekbones, blending into the rest of your length rather than being cut as a separate, blunt fringe. This isn't a commitment the way full bangs are. You can tuck them back on a bad hair day, and they still work with your part instead of fighting it. What curtain layers actually do mechanically is create a soft diagonal line that draws the eye from your part down toward your cheekbones instead of straight across your forehead. That diagonal motion is the whole trick. It's the same principle a portrait photographer uses when they don't want a flat, static composition. Your eyebrows get softened. Your cheekbones get quietly highlighted because there's now hair drawing attention toward them. And your forehead stops being the first thing anyone's eye lands on. There's a second benefit almost nobody mentions. Curtain layers hide regrowth and root shadow far better than a straight hairline does, because the pieces are already broken up and layered rather than one continuous line where every millimeter of new growth shows. If you've ever felt like you needed a root touch-up 2 weeks earlier than you actually did, this is part of why. The result women describe most often isn't "I look younger." It's "people stopped asking if I was tired." That's the forehead and brow effect working in reverse. Once there's movement and softness at the hairline instead of a flat expanse, your whole expression reads as more awake, more present, without you doing anything different with your actual face. Before, a flat, straight hairline with no movement near the brow. After, soft curtain layers sweeping from center part to cheekbone, breaking up the forehead line entirely. That's the whole transformation. And it costs you almost nothing in upkeep. Now here's a confession. I avoided this cut for years because I assumed it meant committing to bangs I'd hate growing out. I was wrong, and I wish someone had corrected me sooner, because the next cut on this list solves an entirely different problem. What happens when your hair has actually started thinning, not just aging in texture? Part 3. The clavicut stylists keep recommending. Stylists have started using a specific word for a specific length, and if you walk in and ask for it by name, you'll get exactly what you want instead of a rough guess. The word is clavicut, and it means the hair ends precisely at the collarbone, not near it, not approximately there, exactly at it. Why does half an inch matter this much? Because thinning hair, and by our 50s and 60s, most of us have some, even if it's subtle, loses its ability to hold shape the longer it gets. Hair that's too long for its own density starts to look stringy at the ends no matter how healthy it actually is, simply because there isn't enough density left to support that length. You might be brushing your hair every day, using good product, and still feel like it looks thin and tired by the afternoon. That's often not a hair health problem. That's a length problem. The clavicut fixes this by cutting the hair to the exact length your current density can actually support with fullness, which for most women over 50 is right at the collarbone. Ask specifically for minimal layering through the body of the cut, with the weight kept mostly intact rather than layered out, and a bluntish edge rather than heavy feathering this time. That's different from the lob in part 1. This cut is about density, not movement, so you want the ends to look thicker, not thinner. Your stylist should be building weight at the perimeter, not removing it. Here's the part that surprises people. Because the clavicut keeps more weight at the ends instead of thinning it out with layers, it actually creates the appearance of thicker hair even on fine or thinning strands. Layers remove weight. That's literally what they're for. So if density is your concern rather than movement, fewer layers, not more, is the answer. This is the opposite instinct most women have, which is why so many of us default to heavily layered cuts as we age, when what our hair actually needs is the reverse. The snapback most women feel after this cut isn't about looking younger in the abstract. It's specifically about looking healthier. When the ends stop looking wispy and start looking solid, people read that as vitality. It's one of the fastest ways to change how tired or worn down your hair reads at a glance, without touching color or texture at all. Before, longer hair with thin, wispy ends that look sparse no matter how it's styled. After, a precise clavicut with weight kept intact at the collarbone, reading as noticeably thicker. That's the entire swap, and it's the one stylists reach for most often when a client says her hair just looks tired. I'll admit this one took me a while to trust, because cutting hair shorter to make it look thicker felt backwards the first time I heard it explained. But once you see the difference in a photo, you stop questioning it, and the next cut on this list takes that same less length, more texture logic and pushes it even further. Part 4. The shag that fixes flat roots. If there's one complaint I hear more than any other from women over 50, it's not about color and it's not about length. It's about the crown. Flat at the root, no matter what you do to it, especially by early afternoon. And the fix most stylists reach for isn't a product, it's a specific cut called the modern shag. Here's why flatness happens as hair ages. Hair follicles naturally shrink in diameter over time, which means each individual strand gets slightly finer, even if your overall density is fine. Finer strands can't hold their own weight up off the scalp the way thicker strands can. So hair that used to have natural lift at the root just lies down instead, no matter how much dry shampoo you work into it. The modern shag solves this structurally rather than cosmetically. Ask for short, choppy layers built specifically through the crown, cut shorter and more textured there than anywhere else on your head, with the length gradually building back out toward the ends. The short internal layers physically can't lie as flat against each other as one long, unbroken length can. They push against each other and create lift simply because of how they're cut, not because of anything you do to style them afterward. Pair this with curtain-style pieces at the front, the same principle from part 2, and you get a cut that has built-in texture from the moment you towel dry it, before a single styling tool touches it. This is the cut stylists give clients who say they're tired of spending 20 minutes every morning trying to manufacture volume that a blow dryer alone won't create. The shape is doing the work the styling used to have to do. What changes for most women isn't just how their hair looks in a photo, it's the whole morning routine. Less time, less product, and a style that still looks intentional on day 2 or 3 instead of collapsing by noon. That's the quiet win nobody puts in the headline, but it's the one that actually changes daily life. Before, one long length with no internal layering, flat and pressed against the scalp by midday. After, short, choppy crown layers creating natural, built-in lift that holds without extra product. That's the swap, and it's the lowest maintenance change on this entire list. There's one more cut left, and it's the one women are usually most afraid to try. Not because it doesn't work, but because of what they've assumed about it for decades. That assumption is wrong, and I want to correct it directly. Part 5. The pixie that doesn't look like giving up. I need to say this plainly. A pixie cut is not the same thing as giving up on your hair, and the fact that so many women over 50 believe that is exactly why so few of them try the one version that actually works, the crown lift pixie, and it looks nothing like what you're picturing right now. The old fear is real and it's not irrational. A badly cut short style on fine, mature hair can look sparse, flat, and yes, like a woman just stopped trying. But that's a cutting problem, not a length problem, and the fix is specific enough that you can ask for it by description even if your stylist doesn't use this exact name. Ask for a pixie with deliberate volume and lift built into the crown, kept slightly longer on top than the classic short all-over version, with soft, textured ends rather than a cropped, blunt finish. The key phrase to use with your stylist is longer pixie with crown lift. This tells them you want the version with intentional height and movement at the top, not the closest, most severe cut they can give you. The sides and back can stay shorter and neat, which is actually where most of the polished look comes from, while the top carries all the texture and personality. The reason this version reads as youthful rather than severe comes down to one thing: intention. A cut with visible shape, movement, and texture on top looks like a choice. A cut that's uniformly short with no build looks like hair that's simply run out of options. The crown lift pixie has an actual silhouette to it, and silhouette is what separates styled from shorn. It also, practically speaking, wakes up your whole face. With nothing falling forward or down, your eyes and cheekbones become the visual focus by default, which is exactly what most face-framing advice for mature women is trying to achieve indirectly. A well-cut pixie achieves it directly. Women who make this switch describe something specific. Strangers start guessing they're younger than they are, not because the hair itself hides age, but because a healthy, intentional short cut reads as confidence, and confidence reads as vitality. That's the actual mechanism behind looks younger. It was never really about erasing years. It's about looking like a woman who's in charge of her own style rather than one who's managing it. Before, a flat, uniform, short pixie with no built-in shape. After, a longer, crown lift pixie with visible texture and movement on top. That's the swap that turns "I gave up" into "I chose this." And it's the one cut on this list most women wish they'd tried 5 years earlier. 5 cuts, 5 very different reasons they work. And every single one of them comes down to the same idea. The right length and shape for your hair right now, not the length you've worn out of habit for the last decade. You now know exactly what to ask for. A collarbone lob for a softer jaw, curtain layers for your brow line, a precise clavicut for density, a shag for crown lift, or a crown lift pixie if you're ready to be bold. And that's 5 real answers, not 5 vague suggestions. Tell me in the comments. Which of these 5 have you actually tried? And which one are you finally ready to ask for at your next appointment? Next time, I'm breaking down the color mistakes that fight against every one of these cuts instead of working with them. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Beauty, and I'll see you in the next one.